Brody!
Covering is God's natural.
How's it going? Hi, I'm Jade.
And I'm Dani.
And we are
BaSex. Alright, so today we're going to get more educational. I know we're normally, I think a majority of the content that we do is like toy reviews, but we figured we'd throw something else different a little bit at you. So today we're going to be talking about oral. We're going to be talking about penises and vaginas because nobody should be left out.
So, first thing we should talk about, like in regards to like any like topic pertaining to it, there's some negative stigma out there that I just want to clear the water. Oral isn't gross. Doesn't need to be anyway. Like, if it's gross, it's usually a matter that it's kind of a problem of those acting in it, and really just hygiene is important.
Yeah, like, be courteous to the person who's giving you oral, and wash yourself. So for penises, like, you can use soap, but for vaginas, please don't use soap for everybody's sake. I know that it's like, oh, I don't feel clean, but like, please don't use soap. Soap can lead to infections, and nobody wants those.
There's a few more comments that we'll talk about hygiene, like coming up. Like,
Totally zoned out.
yeah, sorry, like something else too. When it's appropriate for oral. Sorry, I forgot our topic. Sorry. So when it's appropriate for oral, like, don't use oral as a reward or an excuse or a chore.
Do it because you want to do it. Do it because you're enthusiastic. I can't talk today. I'm really sorry.
It's fine.
Enthusiastic about it. Do it because you want to. Like, have fun with it.
Yeah, like
like any other part of sex, have fun.
The biggest thing I like, a lot of times in the store, like, we'll have people come in and I'll hear, well, I only give blowjobs when they're doing something right. Well, is that really, that's not the way you want to have it set up. Like, all it is then you're just kind of training your partner to create a problem so that they can solve for a cookie, essentially. Like, we don't want to train our partners. You want to work together and just solve your issues. Yeah. Like, sure, if you want to use it as a special treat, if it's just not really your thing, by all means go for that. But don't like try to support. Don't try and encourage other people to like try and turn down what they're doing. I guess that's just my thought on it.
So that kind of leads, I guess, into our next thing. As with any sexual encounter, you really want to communicate. So like, when you're in the middle of it, or even beforehand, say, I really like it when you blank. I don't like it when you blank. So a couple things to be mindful of. Teeth. Don't get too teethy. There are some people who like that, and if you find out that they like that, go for it. Have fun with it. So it's just like, keep an eye on your partner while you're doing it. It's kind of like bondage. Like, keep an eye on your partner and see what they respond to. Yeah.
You don't need to sit down and write out a contract,
no,
but
not that.
Like, the biggest thing I can really say, like, visual cues going on in your partner. Like, recognize how they're reacting. Like, if you're seeing like a
like a wince.
Like, yeah,
you might not want to do that again.
Yeah, like if it's if it's very clear signs of distress, like, yeah, like, try to avoid that. Some good signs to look for, like suddenly like spontaneous movement or kind of grasping at the sheets, like something like that. Like,
oh my god movement.
Yeah, and
keep doing what you're doing.
Like, even to that basis, like, I don't want to encourage, like, you don't want to necessarily overstimulate somebody. If it seems like they're like about to like explode, like, don't ruin the moment. Keep going at it. If they're having fun, they're doing all right. But if they're asking you to stop on something, even if it seems like they're responding good, it could just be overstimulating. We don't want them to be
too much, because too much is not fun. So let's get into it. First, I guess we should probably talk about tongue techniques. So there's a couple different tongue shapes that you can use for oral. There's the like big wide flat tongue that's good for like a sweeping motion, so like whether it's going up like the shaft of the penis or like up the labia and onto the clitoris, or just focusing on the clitoris, you can use that one. Or there's the like sharp tongue where you're like, like pretending you're being sassy, like, and then using that as like a flicking motion. You can use that on, say, the frenulum, which is that little bloop part of the penis, or you can use that on the clitoris, or like darting into the vagina, however you want to do it. Those are kind of the main two shapes, I guess you could use. Another technique that's really good for vaginas is, I think it's called the alphabet technique?
Yep. So, like, the quick overview on that, it's not that hard to figure out. All you're gonna do is just be spelling with your tongue. So, like,
A, B. Try to use capital letters, and I would recommend
dot your I's.
go over the same letter a couple times and watch their reaction. So, like, if you're going from like A to B to C, you're not gonna know which letter they like.
If you see them like really digging on Z, like hang in there for a little while.
Z. Another thing that I've noticed is if you think of the clitoris as a clock, you can like focus on different hours. So like say they're really like 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock, that kind of thing.
Gives you a better idea of figuring out the motion that really works for your partner.
And there are actually different concentrations of nerve endings within different areas of the clitoris, so that really helps you to find like that person's specific sweet spot. Exactly. For penises, I think that you can really, I think that the wide sweeping motions tend to work better. It's all going to be down to a personal level.
And to be honest, it kind of depends a little bit on the areas that you're stimulating. The penis is pretty exotic when it comes to all of its parts. Like a lot of times it comes down to like the clitoris versus the penis versus just like the penis. The penis has a lot going on to it because it's a lot of different like physical organs there. Don't limit yourself to just the clitoris. There's a lot of sensitive areas on the entirety of the vulva, and it's not just that one specific area. Sensitive spots for the penis would include like the top, the glands, the frenulum, kind of the little, like just at the base of the head, and then that entire little piece going all the way down, the testes, and even to a slight bit working like the the sides of the shaft would be a very kind of comfortable, like kind of a, not necessarily it's not going to be the highest sensitivity, but it's a good point to go to on kind of like a building kind of thing. Like if you want to have like it go from a very high intensity sensation to a lower and change up your kind of patterns a little bit.
Yeah, and another thing that we've heard is that like, oh, your jaw will get sore. If you change it up, it'll help with that. Also, if you're just not, like, if you're like, use your hands. Use a vibrator. Use a prostate toy. Use something else to give yourself a break. And then if you want to continue, when you want to continue, then go back to using your mouth. So it's a good way to just, like, fingers, vibrator, prostate massager, whatever you want to do. It
basically, yeah.
Have to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, don't limit yourself to just the stimulation that you can create orally. Like, don't get me wrong, oral is awesome by itself, but you can add a lot more things into it. For example, pertaining to for a vagina owner, clitoral stimulation, awesome. You can also work the clitoral hood. You can work on the labia, both minor and major. If you want, you can work on the actual vaginal opening itself. There's a lot of stimulation that can be occurred all over there, and just taking 2 seconds to be working like the G-spot or mix anal into the mix can be a great way of adding significant larger amounts of stimulation. She's yawning, and I'm Jade. Still yawning. It's slobbery.
Truly slime.
Dear
Stabby.
Stabby.
Stabby.